And the bottom of the same page, 132, Or Zarua.
Or Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Ul Yisrael Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik Ul Yisrael Simcha, Ul Yisrael Simcha, la 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 la. O Zarua Latzadik Ul Yisrael Simcha, O Zarua Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha, O Zarua Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha, Ul Yisrael Simcha, O Zarua Latzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha, Ul Yisrael Simcha.
Psalm 98, page 133. מזמור שירו לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה הושיע לו ימינו וזרוע קודשו הודיע אדוני ישועתו לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו זכר חסדו ואמונתו לבית ישראל ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו 134 הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ פיצחו ורננו וזמרו זמרו לאדוני בכינור
זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור בקול זמרה, בחצוצרות וקול שופר. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, בירם וימום לו, תבל ויושבבה. ימחאו כף יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים משרים בירם וימום לו
We continue with Psalm, thanks Jess, we continue with Psalm 99, page 135. אדוני מלך ירגזו עמים יושב קרובים תנות הארץ אדוני בציון גדול ורמו על כל העמים ידעו שמך גדול ונורא קדוש ובעוז מלך משפט אהב אתה כוננת מישרים משפט וצדקה ביעקב אתה עשית רוממו אדוני אלוהינו
Rommu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu le'ad kodsho. Rommu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu le'ad kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rommu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rommu. Rommu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu le'ad kodsho. Rommu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu le'ad kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rommu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rommu.
And finally on this sequence, Psalm 29, page 136. מזמור לדוד, אבו לאדוני בני אלים, אבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, אבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני עמהם אל הכבוד יראים, אדוני אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר עזים, וישבר אדוני את עזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסריון, כמו בן רבים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל לילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו מרכבות. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. May God grant strength to our people. May God grant our people peace. Before we go to the Lechadodi, I would like to share with you a poem. I mentioned it in previous week. Professor Mel Williams and myself have been translating from the Hebrew poetry for a while now, and in this high holiday publication, we will share with you the harvest of these years of work. And this evening, I'd like to share with you but one poem by the poet Natan Yonatan. And so it goes. It says, at the end of the road. In every place, there is a chasm for the bold, and shade for the weary, and a fountain pouring out coolness. In every dawn, there is a dew for those who tremble, and light for those who love, and cold stone and wide grass. In every sunset, there is an end for the storm-driven, and a tree for the childless, and a rock for those who lie down at the end of the road. It's a poem by Natan Yonatan, Besof HaDerech, at the end of the road. And now I invite you to dwell here in the presence of one another. Here we are in this evening, in the coming of this Shabbat Shoftim, and acknowledge where we are and accept it, and give space for the Shabbat to come, give space for the week to end, and give space for the Shabbat to come. Chadodi 138, when you're ready.
Lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor b'diborecha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Remember how in Shul used to say Shabbat Shalom to the person next to you? Sometimes. Mizmor Shir Liyom Shabbat, a psalm, a song for Shabbat, Psalm 92, page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי אסר, עלי נובל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלה מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון.
Thank you, Rory. And we could conclude this section of the Psalms in the Kabbalat Shabbat on page 141 out of Psalm 43. I'll read the few English lines, then Jessica will take the Hebrew. Your throne stands firm from old. From eternity you have existed. The ocean sounds, O God. The ocean sounds its thunder. The ocean sounds its pounding. Above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breaks of the sea, is the Eternal One, majestic on high. Mikolot Maim Rabim, middle of 1.1.
Mikolot Maim Rabim, Adirim, Adirim, Mishpereya. Mikolot Maim Rabim, Adirim, Adirim, Mishpereya. Lai, 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 Adir Bamaron, lai, lai, Adir Bamaron, lai, lai, Adir Bamaron, Adonai, lai, 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 Adir Bamaron, lai, lai, Adir Bamaron, lai, lai, Adir Bamaron, Adonai.
Dir Bamarom Adonai. We are going to pass now to the Reader's Kaddish on page 144 in the evening service element, and then the Baruch Hu. And what happens next is that the leading of the prayer of the service goes to Mickey, who will be assisted with Martin and with Catherine. So page 144, Reader's Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. וילמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלו בזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך, ישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דהמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We continue on page 147. O God, you are as near to the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. O let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. For those of you who attend on a Shabbat morning, you'll be aware that we have many wonderful what you want? Get rid of the root spotlight. We have many wonderful lay readers, some of whom participated in our very meaningful Women's Shabbat last week. And I'm very grateful to Martin and Catherine for joining me this evening. And we continue on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chachma poteach she'arim, uv'tivona meshane itim, u'ma'chalif et hazmanim, u'msadeh et hakokavim, v'mishratem berakia k'rotzono, borei yom b'laylo, gogel o mifnei hoshek, v'choshech mifnei o, u'mavir yom u'v'layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'v'layla, Adonai tzavot shemo. Adonai tzavot shemo, achai v'chayam, tamid yimloch alehem le'olam vo'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. On page 150. Avat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Ahavta, Torah, Umitzvot, Chukim, Umishpatim, Otanu, Limadata, Al Kain Adonai Eloheinu, B'shoch beinu v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chuchecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, Uv'mitzvotecha, Leolam bo'ed, Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yomenu, uvahem neged yomam v'layla. V'yaftecha al tasim mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue on the bottom of page 151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
On page 154, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher onachi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'letecha v'aderech, u'v'shopecha u'v'kumecha, u'kashatom leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotofot beinenecha, u'katavtom al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. 155. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber b'nei Yisrael, v'amata aleihem v'yasu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei b'dikveihem l'doratom, v'natnu al tzitzit, al kanfei petachil tachelet, v'haya lachem l'tzitzit, uritem oto, u'zakartem et kol mitzvoto Adonai, v'asitem otam, v'lo taturu acharei levavachem, v'acharei anechem, asher atem tzonim achareihem, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Top of page 156. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu. Ki hu Adonai Eloheinu v'ein zulato v'anachnu Yisroel amo. We move to Mikamocha on page 158.
Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam zeli anu v'yameru mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh.
We continue on page 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei sukat shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
To the bottom of the page, opposite 161. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety. and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Blessed are you, Eternal One, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Israel, va'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. מקדש שבי.
Jess, you got muted for some reason. Jess.
Yo, it was long. ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. מקדש שבי שבת, כולם ישמעו ותתענגו מטובך. ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשת שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שלום. ישמחו במלאכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת.
We now move to the Amidah on page 164. Adonai sifasai tiftoch ufia ki tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 165. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer.
Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, O El HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zochei Chasdei Avot v'Yemaot, Umevi Gula, Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo B'Achava, Melech Hoseh U'Mashiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Zarat Sarah. Atah Gibal Yalam Adonai, Mechai Me'emetim Rav Lo Hoshiach, Mashiv Haruk HaMarid HaGeshem, Mazriach HaShemesh UMarid HaTal, Mechacher Chaim B'Chesed, Mechai Me'etim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim B'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umakayem Emunato Lishenei Alpha, Mi Kamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimet Umakayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Page 169, we pray, Catherine.
You're muted, Catherine.
Catherine, you muted.
Sorry. We pray that we might know before whom we stand, the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live. We pray for the winds to disperse the choking air of sadness, for cleansing rains to make parched hopes flower, and to give all of us the strength to rise up toward the sun. We pray for love to encompass us for no other reason, save that we are human, for love through which we may all blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives. We pray to stand upright, we fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray for opened eyes, we who are blind to our own authentic selves. We pray that we may walk in the garden of a purposeful life, our own powers in touch with the power of the world. Praised be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women flower toward the sun. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hamitim. Amen.
On page 170, Atah kidashta b'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Page 171. Where might I go to find you, exalted hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you, please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Page 172, Atah kidashta et yom hashvi l'shimcha, taklit ma'aseh ameim va'aretz, v'vrachto mikol hayamim, v'kidashto mikol hazmanim, v'kein katuv b'toratecha.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו. כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, ritzei bimnuchatenu, kachenu b'mitzvotecha v'tein helchenu b'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taheh libenu, v'taheh libenu, v'taheh libenu liaftacha b'emet, v'amkilenu Adonai Eloheinu, v'avav ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'anuchovo Yisrael mekadesh shamecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
You are with us in our prayer, our love and our dart, in our longing to feel your presence and to do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance, and let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira na'avod.
Top of page 174, it say,
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tekabel, util ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael, amecha Amecha El Karov Lechol Korav Pnei Alaved Vechaven Veinu Shofruchacha Aleinu Vetechezena Eleinu B'shuvcha Letzion berachamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamachazir shchinato Letzion.
on page 176, Modim anachnu lach, she'atu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed, suchayenu, magen yishenu, atol huledovada, nodelecha, unsapeh, tehilatecha, achayenu hamsurim biyadecha, ve'al nishmotenu avgugot lach, ve'al nisecha shebecho yom imanu, ve'al niflotecha v'tovatecha shebecholet, Erev avocha v'hatzorayim, Erev avocha v'hatzorayim, Hatov ki lo chalu rachamecha v'rachaim, ki lo tamu chasdecha, me'olam kivinu lach. V'al kulam yitbarach shimcha, v'chol ha'ayom yodecha selah. V'halu et shimcha be'emet ha'al yoshotenu v'zotenu selah. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ucha na'eh laha'adot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha ישראל עמך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם.
Lo yisa goy el goy cherev, v'lo yilamdu od milchama. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first. And before we take a moment's silence, and then Rory leads us to close the Amidah with Yehi L'Ratzon, just my thanks to Rory, to Jess, and to Catherine and to Martin. The choreography of this service is not simple at the best of times, and I made it very complicated for everybody. So we'll just take a few moments of silence, and then Rory will lead us into the Yehi L'Ratzon.
יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי לרצון עם רפי הגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי
Thank you, Rory. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Mickey. In continuation to what Mickey said, I think it's interesting and insightful to acknowledge that we are really in a transitional phase, and things both with the music and with the lay readers are rather elastic, and we explore the possibilities. We would like to stand forward with a good service that has both the Hebrew elements and the English elements of our liturgy, which is inclusive, which bring many voices, which gives an upliftment of the spirit, and which anchors the week, like when we used to come in shul. And what I can share with you in that regard today, Russell and I were working on putting the camera and thinking where we put the sound and how we screen for the shul, starting to think about how we will bounce back and at least now, at least I will be able to operate from shul. As for the others, we will see. So again, things are elastic, and it's very interesting to see where it will go, where it will develop. We're moving now to page 511, to the Mishaberach, and I invite you to share names, people you think about. We all have like list of people that we think about. Me when I'm praying on the morning, the other people I mentioned. I'm sure each one of you has people that we carry in our thoughts and wishing them healing, renewal of body, renewal of spirit, family, friends. So please do mention names and we'll sing it. 511.
Rami Israel Sam.
מי שברך לאבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha Lavotenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Shabbat Shalom. Good to be with you. Good that you are with us. Today, I'd like to look from various angles on the question and on the notion of justice. And this is following the weekly parasha, which emphasized the idea of justice, starting with the name of it, Shoftim Veshotrim, officers and judges and officers shall you put in your gates. Already in the first sentence, it says it 4 times, this word tzedek. Tzaddik is a righteous person, tzedek is justice. Shoftim veshotrim titen lecha bechol sha'arecha, asher Adonai noten lecha leshvatecha, veshaftu et ha'mishpat tzedek, and later on, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice, you shall pursue. That famous quote that we use a lot, mainly us progressive Jews, and this is where it's originated from. So I want to start by acknowledging that justice, the right measurement and the appropriate way, is a basic landmark in Judaism. It's one may even say that it's what defines Judaism in the sense of the Jewish law and also the Jewish prophecies about distribution evenly. What is the appropriate way? Even in halachic way, you ask, how much should one weigh between meat and milk? What is the right time for Shabbat? You see, it's a lot about justice. What the right thing needs to be in the right time. And saying it on the background, if you can think, for example, on the other guys, the guys across the neighborhood, across the street with the Christianity, then it's very much based on love or on grace. Judaism, in Islam, it will be a lot about submission. Judaism is about justice, the right measurement. So let's start. I've made some, what I wanted to do is I want to show you a bit like when I look around, what is it that I look around from the different resources that we have. Let's start with this. Okay. So this is the verse I was saying earlier, judges and officers shall you appoint for each of your tribes in all of your gates, which the Lord your God is giving you, and they shall judge the people which justice. The judges needs to judge the people with justice. Do not pervert justice, do not show partiality, do not accept bribe, for the bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the innocent. Justice you shall pursue, so that you will live and inherit the land that the Lord your God is giving you. אני בשידור, גבר? אני בשידור. Okay. Guys, sorry for that. Good. So let's start with the matter of the gate. In your gates. Why is the emphasis on the gate? Because the gate is the visibility. The gate is where judgment take place. And I'm showing you here two resources from the archaeological tradition, from the archaeological excavation. Here on the right side is the throne of judgment in the city of Dan, and the other side is in Beersheba. The right one is the Beersheba one, the one bigger, and on the left is the throne of judgment in the city of Dan. That was, by the way, excavated by my institution, Hebrew Union College, in the 80s by Professor Biran. And what you see here, that stall, is the stall where the throne of the king or the judge used to be on the gate into the city in Dan, and the other side, the gate of the city of Beersheba. Why am I bringing those two cities? I'll give you some more example in a minute. Why am I giving those two cities? Because when in the Bible they talk about the dwelling, the pale of settlement, where the Israelites, the tribes have settled, they say from Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south. So you see here, in your gates, judgment must be seen. When Abraham wants to bury Sarah in the city of Hebron, it's about 1700 before Common Era. 1700 before Common Era. He negotiates with Ephron the Hittite, and it says, and so it says, and Abraham spoke to Het and his people at the gate of the city. In the city of Megiddo, we identify the ancient palace next to the gate as the source of administration and justice, and so on. In Samuel, you say, and the king rose and sat at the gate, and all the people who stood, the king stands in the gate to judge now. That's Samuel 2. So the gate is where justice is done, and it symbolizes the visibility that justice should have, which comes with the known quote from modern days, 1924. Not many people know that's the original quote. It is not merely of some importance, but it is of fundamental importance that justice should not only be done, but should manifestly and undoubtedly be seen to be done. Lord Huyer, that's a famous quote, and I was looking for where it comes from. So here it is. First thing is the matter of visibility. Now let's go from archaeology to the traditional commentaries. Here we are. The first traditional commentary is Rashi. That's like the first one you will check. Rashi, he summarizes the rabbinic tradition up till his time. He is on the 10th century in France. He said, judge it, and he doesn't. The translation here says bailiffs, not officers. Shoter is a policeman. Mishtara is the police. Mishtara, it's come from shitur, regime. Shoter is a policeman in today's modern Hebrew, but they say bailiffs, and I looked it up, and it's related because the job of the shotrim here is to enforce the decisions of the Beit Din. So in that case, bailiffs, in the British, it is a sheriff's officer who execute rights and procedures and carrying the arrest, and in the North American, it's an official in the court law who keeps the order, looks after prisoners, etc. So you see, it's related to how Rashi interpreted it. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki from the 10th century. Judges and bailiffs are the judges who pronounce sentences, and shotrim are those who justice the people at the judge's order, including, now that's wouldn't pass today, but it is part of human history, including beating and biting the reluctant to cooperative with a stick and stop until they accept the judgment, the judge's sentence. So the main thing is that the court cannot stand alone. The justice cannot stand alone. It has to be enforced. It has to be implemented. And for that, you got the executor of that, which is the police, which should do that work of sustaining justice. Now we move to Ibn Ezra. Ibn Ezra lived in Spain in the 12th century. You can see him here. He's astronomy. You can see that he's like measuring in this picture, which is a bit later than him. Is doing astrology. It says officers, shoftim. Officers means rulers. It is related to the shoter as an observer or ruler, and the shoftim, judge, and the shotrim are forcing the crooked ones to obey the law. So at least you understand how it should work. The judge make a just verdict, and then those who are crooked are being brought to justice by the police. That's how it should work. I don't think I'm saying anything revolutionary, by the way. That's how it should work. And this is also from Ibn Ezra. See if somebody can, those who can master the Hebrew, see here, Ne'um Avraham Berabi Meir Ibn Ezra Hasfaradi from Spain. Avraham Berabi Meir Ibn Ezra. This is the book. This is the first print in 1488. And he asks about the repetition, which we progressive Jews do a whole thing about it. Justice must be pursued in a just way, and so on. Here I want to kind of a bit shake our question that a little bit. It says the following: justice. Moses speaks to the disputants. Moses repeats the word justice to indicate that one should pursue justice whether one gains or loses. Or the word is repeated to indicate that one should pursue justice as long as one exists. And the repetition of the word connotes continuity, or the word is repeated as an emphasis. So he's saying it. Why does he think there is a repetition? Rabbi Ibn Ezra, he's a linguistic. He's dealing with that. And he says that whether you gain or you lose, seek for the justice. And other than that, it's for the showing the emphasis of that idea. And Resh Lakish in the Babylonian Talmud, the kind of hints that justice should be pursued. Does the repetition indicates that it is not enough to merely judge with justice? It kind of puts it in the air. It's one of those things when the master sages are kind of shocking you in their insight. Says, isn't that enough to say just one time? Just judge justly? That's hard enough to get that. Why is that repetition justice? And then I'm looking on a saying of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, the picture is a picture of the Sanhedrin, obviously much later, from a 19th century encyclopedia. And said Jerusalem was destroyed only for the fact that they were judging cases on the basis of the Torah law in the city. The judgment was strict Torah law. So the Gemara asks, well, what do you want them to do? Rather, what should they have done? Obviously, they will judge the judge of Torah. He says, no. They established a ruling on the basis of the Torah law and not on what's beyond the letter of the law. If you stick to the letter of the law, you're not going to get far. If you stick to the kind of harshness of the verdict, of the tzedek, I'm going to enforce the justice on you, I don't know how far you're going to get with that. Sometimes what you need is to look inside of the situation and go beyond the letter of the law. In Hebrew it says lefanim mishurat hadin. The din is the verdict. Sometimes it'll be beyond the line of the verdict. What you can do to assist there, not only to enforce justice, but also to bring peace and love. Okay. And I want to conclude in the modern aspect of it from the poetry of Yehuda Amichai. This is one of his more famous songs. That it's translated, so Professor Williams and me didn't need to translate it. It says "Mahamakom shebo anachnu tzodkim," from where we are right. He speak about like over righteousness or self-righteousness or being too much sure with you and your opinions. And he writes, from the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard. But doubts and love dig up the word like a mole, a plow, and whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood. The ruined house refers to our history, to individual history. Only when you come and you acknowledge that we start with the question, that we start with the doubts and love, that we start with the place that we question where we are right. This is the source of strength. This is the source of strength. It's not us saying we don't believe in anything. We believe in many things. But the first thing is when I think I'm too right, or when I think I'm right, then to question it, to enable the doubts, to enable the doubt, the love, and the ability to go beyond the letters of what is right, beyond the letters what is right. One would say to what is compassionate. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And there's something more I wanted to tell you, that this week, it has been 8 years to my arrival to South Africa. So I found the 2 pictures that were taken from, this is pictures from to 2013 when I just arrived. You can see clearly the difference. And I want to say that we are not making a big thing every year, but for me, it's a big thing every year that I'm here. We'll make a proper celebration on the decade, on the 10th year, but I'm mentioning it, and here we are. So I'm honored to be here with you, and I'm hoping that there are many years still to come. Yeah, the beard, everyone comment on the beard. Yeah, that's not the only thing. The time, I sense the time, okay? I sense the years. Good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm passing it to Diane to lead us into the Kaddish.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Diane was the chairperson who brought me here, so I always in debt to her.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. And we mourn with the families this week. The Auerbach family on the passing of their brother Ronald in Germany, and to the families of Margaret, David, and Raymond, we wish you long life and strength. We mourn also with the family of Marion Nell, who passed away yesterday. To her brother Matthew and her partner Janet and their families, we wish you strength and long life. And this week we remember those who died at this time in years past. Max Abrams, brother of Miriam Merkel, Sybil Abro, mother of Romaine Goldsmith, Morris Berenblatt, father of Martin Berenblatt, Doreen Bloch, remembered by Morris Cotton, Anne Buskin, mother of Greg Buskin, Rodolfo Joseph, uncle of Peter Joseph, Wilhelm Loebscher, husband of Merle Loebscher, Betty Midlane, remembered by Arlene Midlane, Shirley Pickholtz, my mother, Ernest Seaman, mother of Barbara Seaman, Charles Teller, father of Tanya Teller. May their memory be for blessing. For all those who wish to join me in saying Kaddish, please unmute yourselves and we will recite Kaddish together.
What
Okay.
page?
It's page 598. 598. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shmerabah, Valma, Divra, Yamlif, Akute, V'chayechon, V'chaye, Dechol, Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Vizman, Karim, Amen.
Amen.
Yehei, Shmei, Rabba, Mevarach, Leolam, Almaya, Almaya.
Almaya.
Yitbarach,
Yishtabach, Yitpa'al, Yitromam, Yitnase, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shmei Kudshan, Le'ela min Ko Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechmata, Ran Be'alma V'Imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Yimru Amen.
Oseh Shalom
Shalom Bimroma. Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Yimru Amen.
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 Thank you, Diane. Thank you all. And we wish you long life again to the Nell family, to the Ober family, to all those who in bereavement. Friends, we are toward conclusion. I'll be here tomorrow 9:30 on the morning link, and in the bulletin this week there was the high holiday calendar attached. There's a link. You can check it out. It's all very clear and set. If you don't find it, send a message to me, to Russell, to Morgana. We'll send it to you again. It's out there in one link, very convenient, very clear. All the schedule, starting with 6th of September, Erev Rosh Hashanah, and until there's 2.5 weeks of a lot of activity, a lot of schedule for the whole high holidays. So please check it out. Please join us. We've asked several things, like for people to send us a short video saying Shana Tova Beit Emanuel. If you're a musician, let us know. We are communicating with people regarding honors. So people, we are in touch with the people and will be further on. Please, if there's something you think we should know when it comes to care, when it comes to whatever, be in touch with us. We are here for that purpose. And I bless you and I thank you. Is there a management, MENCOM announcements?
Sorry, Rava, there isn't, but I did want to mention that for those of us that are already preparing our menus for the high holidays, please take into consideration the fact that the Beit Emanuel kitchen will be offering traditional, very interesting Yom Tov menus. So in your planning, start planning the fact that you can get all of this from the shul. And there'll be more announcements about that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, exactly. The culinar, the cuisine, the Jewish traditional cuisine, it's part of the cultural heritage and a major one. Okay, maybe not everyone learned Talmud, but everyone had a gefilte fish or a knedlach or so on. So this is instrumental to the cultural heritage. Thank you, friends. Thank you, and thank you for the blessing. It's great to be with you indeed. We conclude in Adon Olam, 6:25 to you, Rory.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra Adon Olam, liet nasa v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, liet nasa v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, Ve'acharei kichlot hakol, Levahadoim loch nora Adon Olam, V'hu haya, v'hu hove, V'hu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam, Asher malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, Liet nesa v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, V'hu echad ve'ein sheni, L'ham shelo le'achbira Adon Olam, Veli Reishit, Veli Tachlit, Velo Haoz v'hamizrah Adon Olam, Asher malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, Liet nasa v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, V'hu Eli v'chai goali, V'tzor chevli b'yetzera Adon Olam, V'hu nisi yumanos li, V'nat kosi b'yom ekra Adon Olam, Asher malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, Liet nasa v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, B'yado afkid ruchi, V'et tishan v'yahira Adon Olam, V'im ruchi, Gevioti, Adon Alay Velo Ira Adon Olam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Liet Nasa V'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nekra.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, friends. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Everybody and Rabbi. Shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Judy.
Happy birthday, Judy.
Thanks for coming, Cameron. Wilson, thanks for coming. And Shalom Eretz Israel, thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Tomorrow morning.
Bye, Jenny. Bye, everyone. Bye, Shmira. Bye, Maureen. Bye,
Shalom.
Leonard.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
To all the best.
Shabbat shalom, David.
Shabbat shalom, Simon.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom, Jenny.
Shabbat shalom.
David.
Shabbat shalom, David.
And Shabbat shalom, Catherine.
Hi, Shabbat shalom, David.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi,
Jenny.
Shabbat shalom. Hi,
Shabbat shalom, Maureen and Maureen.
How's it? Shabbat shalom. Happy birthday, Judy. I'm in the dark with a power failure or something going wrong. And long life to everyone, Margaret and your whole family. All the best. And to Peter.
Thank you.
All the best. Have a good weekend.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Bye.